Some people call it the Old Firm Derby, some people call it the Glasgow Derby. I'm going to call it the battle for second, because there's a new team in Scotland, there's a new team in the country. That team appears to be Aberdeen, and by God, did their fans show it tonight. But guys, welcome back to Flog Football. Let's talk about the fans that we're going to see tomorrow, or the fans that we're not going to see, because it's going to be a full house at Celtic Park, but unfortunately, it's just going to be 60,000 green.
It's just going to be 60,000 green, no blue. There was about 2,000 red, and I think that sums up how this league could be going. But we need to look at it. We've gave it a lot of thought. We've gave it a lot of talk. We've hyped it up. Let's just get into the nitty gritty, folks, shall we? I'm sick of beating around the bush. Let's get to our predictions. We've been hyping this up for about 3 weeks. Rangers have no chance. Rangers have no chance. But let's see if they've got a chance, eh?
Well, first we need to look at the team news. So let's talk about it. Injuries. We'll start with the away team. We'll start with Rangers. Key players missing.
Leon Balogun, he has got a neck injury, which is not ideal. So it looks like he will potentially miss it. Raskin, Proper, Cortez and Yilmaz are back in training, but they're in a battle to regain fitness. So you can pretty much say sayonara to those four. Kazim Weirjo could be involved, but no real guarantee there. Well, Nijim Berdrami, who's the Todd Cantwell replacement, can't be, as his clearance was delayed.
Damn, not good. So there you go, Rangers then. Some players missing through injury, some players missing through fitness, some players missing through being signed too late. Just seems like it's the Rangers way. I do think Rangers are very light going into this game. But let's talk about some Celtic worries. Let's talk about the Celtic injury news, the Celtic fitness problems. And I think they've got less to worry about than Rangers. Obviously, Kyogo has got his reoccurring elbow, but I mean, that doesn't seem to stop him. Shoulder, elbow, same shit.
Shoulder, knees, heads and toes. Anyway, Carter Vickers, he's fit, despite missing training on Friday. But a certain Matt O'Reilly's not fit. He's injured, and he no longer plays for Celtic. That's pretty much the injury news for Celtic. Carter Vickers missed a training session, but don't worry guys, he's fit, he's safe. Godspeed, Jack. Godspeed.
What about the new signings? Will we see any of them? The transfer deadline day signings? Will we see Trusty? Will we see Engels? Will we see Luke McCowan?
Well, apparently Celtic can give debuts to them. They've all their clearances have passed. So,
will Brendan Rodgers though want to put them in? Is this too big a game for them to come in? Could you argue he'd be more likely to put McCowan in since he knows the league?
He's a Celtic man as well. I don't think Alex Valley will start by any means. Arnie Engels, I think, will be a substitute appearance. I think out the four, Trusty's most likely to start because he's better than Scales, is what people are going to automatically think. And when we look at McCowan, I think he's going to need to prove himself to start in an Old Firm.
Does the midfield pick itself for at least this game until Engels is up to speed?
Yeah.
Is it McGregor, Hatate, or Bernardo?
That's it.
Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I'd say that's it.
And you don't think Trusty will sit on the bench of this? You think he'll get thrown right in against Rangers?
I think he'll get thrown right in.
You don't think it'll be Scales?
No.
Will Brendan Rodgers not go with the trusted Scales instead of the untrusted Trusty?
I think he'll go with the untrusted Trusty.
You think he'll go with the untrusted Trusty?
He's not going to go with the trusty, scaly.
Nice. That would be off the scales.
that would be.
Anyway, right. So the league situation: Celtic 3 wins out of 3, 9 points. Rangers 2 wins and a draw, dropping points in the opening game of the season. Now, when you drop points to Hearts at Tynecastle, I mean, it doesn't feel like a bad result, but had we known that Hearts were going to be absolute dog shite, then I think Rangers would have looked back in that opening game result with a little bit less fondness, because looking at it now, it's a terrible result for Rangers.
No,
at the time, you know, a draw at Tynecastle, you can't really complain.
Yeah, it's obviously bad on paper, but when you look at the game, Rangers were lucky to get a point. So, swings and roundabouts, but since then, no, Rangers had to beat Hearts. Every team's beat Hearts, so why Rangers should be beating them.
Yep, every team's beat Hearts apart for Rangers, so not a good look there. So Rangers can go top. They can go top in terms of ahead of Celtic, but they can't go top in the league because that position is reserved for Aberdeen, unless of course Celtic get a win tomorrow. Rangers though can jump as high as second. If they defeat Celtic, they would go 1 point above Celtic. A draw would keep Celtic in second, and Rangers would remain 2 points behind them. A win, of course, any sort of win, would put Celtic a whopping 5 points ahead of Rangers. And I do say whopping because it's only 4 games into the season. If you're 5 points in front of your title rivals at that point, then it's not a good look.
No, it's not.
The title is quickly getting away. Plus, like I said, the goal difference is in Celtic's favour. So any sort of win, even if they got a 1-0, hundreds of fans, storm the pitch type of celebration win tomorrow, that would be enough to put them top of the table. I mean, if Celtic got a win against Rangers tomorrow and the fact like a couple hundred fans did what Aberdeen did tonight, would that be more justified? Considering it is against your rivals and you're going top and you're winning?
Probably not, though, because, I mean, it's like, they haven't done it in a game that's, like, won a cup final or a game that's cemented the league. Tomorrow's a foregone conclusion for a lot of people in this country.
Could be. Right, what does a defeat mean for Rangers? Is the pressure...
It's so
See
weird.
the way you get the wee knobs, like the volume knobs, and you get, like, max and low? Let's say that's pressure, and let's say that pressure is being transferred to Clement. If Rangers lose tomorrow, is that getting turned up to the max? Is that getting turned all the way? Is that getting rotated all the way around?
I'd say so.
Is Philippe Clement on his last legs?
I wouldn't say he's on his last legs if we get beat tomorrow, right? But it's no good enough. 5 Old Firm games, 1 draw, 4 defeats. That's bogging. I don't care what you are and what. I don't care the financial gulfs. I don't care about whatever. The fact of the matter is this: Rangers were good enough last season to beat Celtic. Celtic had their injuries. Clement fucking bottled it. Don't get me wrong. Now when it's stacked against him, I think it's time to step up to task. There's no excuse. Rodgers beat Rangers last season when Rangers were considered a stronger team. If Clement's that fucking good, why can't he?
Well, why can't he?
Well, that's it. Why can't he? I don't think he can. It just seems inevitable that Celtic are going to win. And if it's so inevitable and everyone's predicting it, then why will the pressure be on Clement? I'll tell you why. Because going 5 games without a win in an Old Firm is embarrassing.
Well, by the way people are talking, it almost seems like Clement's got nothing to lose.
He's got everything to lose, though. That's the problem. No, man, you've got no tinted specs on here. You've just got the maroon ones on that seem to be more brown these days. But it's like, if Rangers lose tomorrow, man, 5 points is too much. It is.
It's a pretty big gap.
You know, and it's not only 5 points to... Celtic have had a tough start to the season in terms of games. Way to Easter Road, way to St Mirren, home to Kelly. I mean, realistically, man, could you have asked for a much tough... And then a game against Rangers?
No, Celtic have had a tougher run in yet. You know, if they, I mean, it would be hard to. I'm not saying the league's over if Celtic win tomorrow.
No, it's honestly, but
I mean,
I just don't see.
I feel like already Celtic would have one hand on the trophy. Let's put it that way.
The problem with it tomorrow for me is it's like, yeah, say Rangers lose, right? It's not the league's over, right? Even though it wouldn't look good. I just don't see how Celtic don't extend the gap between now and January. What would the gap be if they win tomorrow? Come January time in the league, you've got to imagine it would extend just by.
How far can Clement let the gap extend before he gets fired? Because with Beale, was it not 7 points?
Yeah, that was at the end of September. But then to be fair,
yeah, but here, if Celtic win tomorrow, right, we're going into September with a 5 point gap. All it takes is Rangers to draw one more game.
They're away to Tynecastle after.
All it takes is Rangers, and then Celtic have a 7 point gap if they win. So, like, could we see this quickly get away for Clement?
Yeah.
Do you think Clement would secretly take a draw tomorrow if you offered him it?
I think he would. Hell, I kind of would secretly take a draw.
Don't be saying that.
Not so secret draw.
Anyway, what about Brendan Rodgers? What's life like for him if he tastes defeat tomorrow? I know he doesn't come under pressure for the board or anything like that, but I think the fans would bring him under pressure.
Yeah, because a lot of people are...
a lot of Celtic fans believe this shouldn't even be a contest.
A lot of Celtic fans are satisfied with the transfer. Say they didn't make those free signings yesterday and they lost. I think a lot of fans would be like, well, that's on the board, almost. But they've made the signings. They've backed Rodgers. They've spent a shit ton of money. You can talk about how it got earned and, it was sales, etc., etc. They've still backed him. I think if he got beat tomorrow, he would be under excruciating pressure. They would be behind Rangers in the league. They'd be 3 points off Aberdeen.
If Celtic lose tomorrow, could it be a momentum changer?
Could be, absolutely.
Because we've seen momentum change hands last year.
Yeah.
When Celtic were under pressure, and then they got a couple of good results, and then they just fired on. Could we see the opposite? I mean, could we see Rangers pull out an upset tomorrow and then turn it around and go on a good run? Maybe Celtic falter for a while.
It's massive tomorrow because all these new signings that come in. if they start and they get an easy win under their belt, 3-0 against Rangers, piece of piss. See if they come in with the negativity of a defeat against Rangers, man, that could massively impact the rest of their Celtic career. But we'll have to wait and see. I just hope Rangers actually challenge Kasper Schmeichel, make him have to actually work for his wage. Same with the defenders. It's time for Rangers to actually step up an Old Firm, man. No, it's actually embarrassing, right? If you look at last year's Old Firms, did nothing in the cup final pretty much. The 3-each game at Ibrox, they were disgusting in the first half. Absolutely disgusting. Parkhead.
I thought they were four. I thought that I don't think that was a penalty. Like
the two Parkhead games were not as bad as Ibrox, but they just weren't good. And then the 1-0 at Ibrox was embarrassing. It's not good enough, man. Seeing meaningful Old Firm games, Rangers have fucking dropped the ball.
I just opened up YouTube there, and it was like a short of Daryl Dixon carrying Beth's dead body for the hospital. Could that be a sign of things to come tomorrow?
Could be.
Right, well, let's talk about the teams. Starting 11s, Rangers, let's go for it. I think the goalkeeping position picks for itself. Liam Kelly will be sitting on the bench.
Aye, Liam Kelly will be sitting on the bench.
He'll be sitting beside Clement. It's going to be Butland starting. The back four, I believe, also picks for itself. Whether I believe it's the back four we should get or it's the back four Clement's going to pick. I think it will be based on injuries. I'm assuming Tav, Sterling, Suter and Hefty.
I mean, that's what it's looking like. Here, with Proper being a race against time for fitness and Balogun went off with a neck injury last week, it would be just a bit weird to see one of them start. But again, Sterling needs to be in the midfield for me for Rangers to get anything out of this game, because they need Sterling, Barron and Diamonde in the midfield to do anything against that Celtic.
They could always recall Ben Davis.
No. See if they start Tom Lawrence, man, the game's a bogey already.
Waste their shirt.
Aye.
Right, midfield.
No, well, Tom Lawrence was the worst performing player. Look at the two games he started.
It was god awful in those Old Firm games. Right, midfield. I think the first name on the team sheet is Connor Barron.
Yep.
I think that's a no-brainer. He's been a great signing.
How can Rangers no look at Connor Barron and go, you know what, maybe we should go to players in this league?
Well, just look at Lewis Ferguson. Someone that wasn't deemed good. We don't want him. He's nowhere near as good as his uncle or his father.
No, people can say what they want, right? See Luke McCann to Celtic, smart piece of business. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a bona fide starter in this season, if there's an injury to Angels, Hatate or McGregor. Because I think he'll cement a place over Bernardo. I do. I can imagine Rodgers preferring him over Bernardo.
No, he could do, and I mean, that maybe... I think McCowan's a player that could work better in the midfield with McGregor.
Yeah.
Possibly with McCowan in there, you can play Hatate more advanced. I think Hatate would do better linking up with Kyogo. But in the Rangers midfield, who's partnering Connor Barron then? Who's
Diamonde.
Diamonde, so it's Barron and Diamonde in there.
Yeah, but the problem is, I think Sterling needs to be in the midfield, and I think it means you play a non-fit centre back.
Right, and well, who we got in front of them? Are you going with like
Matondo, Tierney, Dessers?
Oh, you're missing one player here.
Because I would start. Sterling needs to be in the midfield.
Yeah, but if you're putting him in midfield, who are you putting at centre back?
Proper.
But he's injured, isn't it?
Lacking fitness. Needs to regain a bit of fitness.
Well, we'll see. Right, Celtic, they're going to go with Kasper Schmeichel. I believe the back four. Well, we have a difference of opinion. I think it's going to be Johnston, Taylor, Vickers and Scales.
Why I think he'll play Trusty is because a centre-back's not the sort of position you make mid-game, especially in an Old Firm, unless you're looking to bring on a defender to cement a victory. So I think he'll start Trusty, throw him in at the deep end. Him and his wee American buddy, the twin towers at the back.
Right, it could be, right, midfield.
Can Cyril Dessers be that hijacked plane, potentially?
Midfield... I know it's a predictable, boring answer, but I imagine it'll be McGregor, Hatate, or Bernardo.
See, Dessers will probably end up being like that plane that hit the field in Pennsylvania, rather than the plane that hit the towers.
Just missed everything. Right. So are you going with the same three as me?
I will.
Right. Up front on the left, I'll go Dyson Maida. On the right, I'll go Nicholas Kuhn.
Yeah.
And up front, I mean, I think Kyogo's got a really good record against Rangers. So I think Kyogo should start. But I have a feeling he might go Ida.
I do.
Because we know that Kyogo has been struggling with his shoulder lately. So.
I would much rather Adam Adair start, and that's not me burying the guy. Kyogo just has Rangers on a stick.
Could you argue Kyogo would be harder to play against though if he's coming on the 65th minute, 70th minute? Could you argue that 20 minutes would be...
Yeah, but hopefully by that stage Rangers are on
4-0 up or something?
Aye, yeah. With Kyogo starting, there's more chance of Celtic winning.
Well, that is true. For me, it's Kyogo all day long, but I have a feeling that Rodgers...
I think Adair suits coming on to a Celtic team that needs a goal more. Like Kyogo almost, I feel like when you need a goal, you're just going to launch hopeful balls, and Adair can be like a target man.
Yeah, if a team's sitting back and not committing, it's harder for Kyogo to be effective.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much the news. That's our predicted 11s. That's us talk shite enough about the game. I think it's time to get into the actual scoreline prediction.
Yeah, I'm half back in Rangers. I'm going 2 each. I'm not changing it.
What did you go in the previous show? Did you also go 2 each?
Yeah.
I'm going 3-1 Celtic. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Celtic will win. So
part of the reason I'm going 2 each, right? Because you know what, I have been negative about Rangers, even if it's been the truth.
Because your wee buddy went for a score draw, so you're going to go for a score draw.
My wee buddy went for a score draw. He's taken up golf. I'll take up crazy golf because I'm inferior to him, and we'll see how that goes. But
right, you're going 2-2. I'm going 3-1. So we're both going for 4 goals scored in the match. It's just a matter of who gets them. Any particular goal scorer? Anything you think? Anybody?
Cyril Dessers to get a brace. He is going to put that plane on target and lay the smack down.
He's your man of the match.
I don't know if he'll be my man of the match. We'll see how it goes.
I'm going Hatate, man of the match.
Dessers could score 2, right, and balloon 5.
I'm going Hatate to get on the score sheet and get man of the match. That's my prediction. But here, I could also see a goal for Dyson Maeda. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. I expect lots of coverage for this derby, as we always do, and people can complain that, why don't you cover the rest of Scottish football? I mean, we do it. Open your eyes. I mean, we do cover the rest.
A bunch of fids on Aberdeen.
I mean, we do cover the rest of Scottish football, but I mean, the fact is, see if you take the fan base of the 2 biggest clubs in Scotland. I mean, what would you say combined they are? Has to be over 90%. No? If you take all the football fans in Scotland, what percentage do the Celtic and Rangers combined make up? It has to be about 90%.
It's got to be.
So therefore, it would make sense for us to have 90% Old Firm content.
Well, I mean, if you put it this way, if Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen sell it, you're looking at about 60,000, round about.
When's that happen though?
Yeah, that is the problem. That's when they do it.
Aye, but hold on, Rangers and Celtic sell out, but who's to say they can't? You know what I mean? There's always people looking for.
It's 90%.
Tell you what, the other 3 clubs ain't selling out triple over. Anyway, guys, that's it.
And also, I think there's just more chance that you'll get like even casual Celtic and Rangers fans rather than like a casual Hibs fan. Although I support Rangers, but I haven't been in blah blah blah.
Aye, or I support Hearts, but I've never been, something like that. So, anyway, guys, that's it. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Important seats and all that stuff.
Till next time, peace.